XRP just scored a major win. The first ever spot ETF for Ripple's token is launching in the US. For years, Bitcoin and Ethereum dominated institutional flows. But now, XRP is finally getting its own seat at the table. Subscribe for daily alpha. Here's what's happening. Asset manager REX-Osprey has secured approval to list the XRP ETF, ticker symbol XRPR, on major US exchanges like NASDAQ and NYSE. That means for the first time, institutions and retail investors alike will be able to buy exposure to XRP directly through regulated markets, without dealing with wallets, private keys, or exchanges. It's a watershed moment for mainstream adoption. So why does this matter? Let's start with inflows. When Bitcoin ETFs launched earlier this year, they pulled in billions within weeks, setting daily records and proving there's pent-up demand for crypto through traditional rails. Ethereum followed with strong institutional allocations. Now it's XRP's turn, and analysts expect significant inflows, especially from funds that were previously hesitant due to regulatory uncertainty. Speaking of regulation, remember that XRP's path here was anything but smooth. Ripple spent years battling the SEC over whether XRP should be classified as a security. That cloud kept many big investors on the sidelines. The approval of XRPR is a clear signal that regulators are moving past the enforcement era and opening doors for broader crypto adoption. It doesn't erase all risk, but it reduces uncertainty, and that's exactly what institutions look for before deploying serious capital. We're already seeing early signs of anticipation. On-chain data shows XRP coins flowing off exchanges in the past week, a classic sign of accumulation. Holders are locking up their positions in expectation of higher demand and tighter supply once the ETF goes live. That kind of behavior mirrors what happened with Bitcoin before its ETF approval, when supply left exchanges just as demand started building. But let's not ignore the narrative power here. For years, XRP has had one of the most vocal and loyal communities in crypto, often called the XRP Army. They've weathered lawsuits, skepticism, and years of underperformance compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. This ETF validates their persistence and positions XRP not just as a remittance or cross-border settlement token, but as a regulated investment vehicle recognized by Wall Street. That's a psychological win as much as a financial one. Now let's break down some scenarios. In the bullish case, XRPR launches with strong inflows. Institutions rotate capital into XRP, and retail piles in on the narrative. That could send XRP to test $3, its previous cycle high, and potentially break into new territory if momentum holds. In the neutral case, inflows are steady but not explosive. Price hovers between $1 and $2, and XRP gradually carves out a role alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. In the bearish case, inflows disappoint. Hype fades quickly, and XRP retraces back below $1. It's less likely given the current buzz, but still worth considering. Beyond price, the ETF's significance extends to broader market structure. If XRP's ETF succeeds, it opens the door for more altcoin ETFs, and in fact, Dogecoin is right behind with its own spot ETF filing. That sets up a future where crypto ETFs mirror the stock market, a menu of assets that investors can allocate to through traditional brokers. For crypto as an industry, that means more liquidity, more legitimacy, and deeper integration with global finance. So what should we watch next? First, the actual launch date of XRPR and early inflow numbers. If the first week mirrors Bitcoin's billion-dollar inflows, it will be a massive catalyst. Second, price action around the $3 resistance level. A breakout there would signal that ETF demand is absorbing supply. Third, regulatory commentary. If the SEC or Fed officials publicly acknowledge XRP's ETF, it cements legitimacy even further. There's also the competitive angle. Bitcoin is still the king of store-of-value narratives. Ethereum is still the backbone of DeFi and smart contracts. But XRP's ETF makes it part of the institutional conversation in a way it never was before. That could accelerate its role as a payments and settlement layer in global finance, especially if paired with Ripple's ongoing partnerships in banking and cross-border corridors. For the XRP community, this is validation. For institutions, it's opportunity. For the broader crypto market, it's another sign that the walls between traditional finance and digital assets are coming down fast. So, will XRPR spark a true breakout for XRP, or is it just another hype cycle in disguise? Either way, one thing is clear. XRP just leveled up, and the whole market is watching. Drop your thoughts below. So, will XRPR spark a breakout for XRP? Subscribe and click the bell to stay plugged in.